Ladies and gentlemen, this is Amen Maeko on Power and Purpose on behalf of Renee Malay. And today I have my favorite love doctor, Vusi Maseko. Mr. Vusi, how's it?
I'm good. How you doing, sir?
I'm always great. You know I'm always good.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Likewise, man. The last
Yes.
time we had a good session and I was...
Oh yeah, I had fun. You know,
I was
had
blessed
fun.
and I thought the people might want to see you again on the show.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's how amazing you were.
Thank you, man.
This
Thank
man
you.
loves long legs.
Thank Don't start with the long legs issue.
But we're
bro.
good, all right?
I know, we're good to go. We're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, you look handsome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
a
you
true
do.
African.
Is it okay to tell another man that looks handsome?
Yeah.
Because these
yeah,
days you're not gonna trust these issues of
I'm not-
this guy looks handsome and all of a sudden now you just
Yeah.
want to DM me.
No, I'm not playing for that team.
Oh, okay, no, that's great.
I'm not playing for that team.
Okay, that's beautiful.
You are a true African.
Oh yes, I'm
Tall,
a man.
Tall, dark, curly
and,
hair.
and handsome.
Yes, that's you.
So
No.
there's no issues there.
No, none whatsoever.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, as we were coming to studio, we
Yes.
had a content that we're gonna talk about today,
Yes.
all right?
Yeah.
And which is very much detrimental in terms of the future of our country and the world at large, because at the end of the day, whatever we say here will be transported or will be transmission.
Yeah. Or interpreted in a certain way.
You get what I'm saying? To the
Yeah.
whole globe.
Yeah.
So most of the time, the stuff that we talk about here are concerned about what's happening in the world, in our country, domestically and globally. That's what we face.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about fat and set.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now, just to be relevant, that's cohabitation.
Ash.
So it's cohabitation, like
Yeah.
you live together,
Yeah.
but not in a presidential manner.
Okay.
So fat and set,
Yeah.
you know, our country has been colonized by
Yes.
the Dutch. So
Yes.
fat simply means take.
Yeah.
Set means sit
Yeah.
in Afrikaans.
Okay.
So you
So
take
that's how you
and you
say-
say, you
Okay.
get
I
it.
get you,
So
I get you.
basically that's cohabitation.
I get
So
you.
the best candidate that I know of who's
Yeah.
good at love spreading would be you, Doctor. By the way, he's Dr. Love.
Okay.
What's
yes.
your take on that? Wow. Take us through.
Well, it's an issue that is closer to many of us, more especially because of maybe the background of where we come from. And one will be not doing justice to the topic if maybe you don't really go back and look into issues that what causes a fat and set.
Yeah.
You know, because there are many reasons why people are doing fat and set.
That's
you know.
right.
So top of the list that I'm thinking about, it's a modern way of living.
Yeah.
People just want to just live together.
Yeah.
Second to that, it's maybe what I would call mahadi. Lobola or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, in an issue that you are unable to maybe pay mahadi and you just want to say, you know what,
That's right.
let's just live together for the sake of living together, but we're building a family, you know, because of you, maybe you're not having money at this stage, so you can't able to marry this person, just like, no, let's just live together.
Sure.
Yeah, so my view into this thing is to say, it has its disadvantage and it has its
Advantages
as well.
and yeah.
So I will speak from the point of the Christian perspective.
Thank
you. Know,
you.
because I don't want to sound like, you know, you're judging people
Yeah,
who are doing
you're
that.
right.
Because like I said before, that when people do that, they've got a reason why they're doing that. You need to understand where they're coming from.
That's
you know,
right.
some coming from a broken relationship
Thank
or
you.
a broken marriage. So they thought like, hey, let's do this together.
yeah.
This is the way of life. You know? Yeah. So in a Christian perspective, I think God only acknowledges marriage. There's no fat and set in the Bible that you can perhaps maybe know about, you know. So in my side, I said, if God only acknowledges marriage, it means that fat and set is not in the radar of God.
Yeah. Because what you just said is that you said in the Bible there's no cohabitation, and you said God acknowledges marriage. Matter of fact, if you look at the Bible, the beginning of relationship between men and women was a marriage. That was the first institution that God has created. When He put Adam and Eve, that was God saying, "This is family. This is marriage." There was no mistake or mishap in terms of how they
Yeah.
happen to live together. So taking it from Adam and Eve,
Yeah.
what you're saying is because that's how God has orchestrated the whole event.
Yeah.
So what people are doing now in terms of taking and staying with the person illegally, so if we may put it,
Yeah.
based on tradition or culture, if I may put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So you're saying there's somehow a distortion in terms of how God wanted it to be.
Yeah.
This is how people are living right now.
Yes. So because of, I get it, God has standards
Mhm.
to say, if I need to acknowledge you as a husband and a wife, there must be certain things that you should have done so that I recognize that as a marriage. Everywhere, even in this country, beside God, there are people that you need to follow the correct procedure for you to do that, you know. So maybe we can go a little bit step back to say, okay, fine. What is the real reason why you're doing that? Is it because you don't have money? Is because of you disregard the parents of the person that you're just taking from them as a family.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
as a guy, I don't think it will be pleasing to me or to a family of this girl or woman that I'm just taking and just staying with me, you know. So that's why I'm saying maybe we need to go back, step back to say, okay, fine. Before we can say, okay, fine, we're doing this to please God, but what does this interpret in your, when you're sitting by yourself, you didn't pay lobola for this
Yeah.
particular person, you just took this person uhlala naye.
Yeah.
What does that say about you as an individual?
Yeah.
Not only you, but as the other woman as well who comes into your life, what does that say about her as well? Is it okay?
Yeah, like
just
does it speak? Do you value the person?
Do you value
Do
the
you
person?
sustain the
Yeah.
ethics?
Correct, yes.
So that's what you're saying?
Yeah, because it start from point A to
Yeah.
say, if I'm Vusi and I'm taking
Selena.
Sintaulel or Selena. Why are you using Selena?
I just thought.
Oh, okay.
You just said Sintaulele, so Selena.
Sintaulele is
Yeah,
one
there
of
was an
something. Yeah,
S.
there was an
there.
S.
There
Okay,
was an
that's fine.
S.
Yeah, let's use Susan. Let's use Susan.
I was
And-
about to say use Charlotte, but it's fine.
No, let's stick to Susan.
Okay,
Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah, let's say maybe I go and just take Susan without going and just paying 10 rand to the family so that they know where Susan is. I don't think it's about the money.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be about the money that some people cannot really afford. But if you're really, really willing or looking forward to go to this particular family or this particular, you want to be with this person, I think you can go there with 1,000 rand and say, look, as much as I don't have 100,000, but I do have 1,000, and I want you to know where your daughter is. I understand that. So I think it's a respect for yourself, your partner, as well as the family member or the person that you're going to be with as well.
Now, I know the question might sound a little bit, how do I say it, irrelevant.
Okay.
But we'll just go to it anyway
Yes,
because
let's
I
go.
thought, let me ask it.
Yes.
Who constituted the monetary value when it comes to taking a partner? By means of
Yes.
what you know
Yeah.
or what you heard? Who said, if money would be the element of me taking the partner is key? Who brought that whole idea? Has it always been like that from ancient days, or it's something that has resurfaced from the 19th, 18th, or whatever century?
I think as we are revolving, as we are living in this world, remember that we're coming from different family background as well. So at Vusis, we might have 4 sisters or 4 ladies. And my father will look into them and say, if I can have 25,000 here, 25,000 there, I've got already 100K in the bank.
Sure.
So they're automatically using this as, let me prize these people. Let me prize my daughters. You get my point? So that I can able to maybe to build an extra room or buy the car that I never managed to buy when you get my point.
Yeah.
So my view is to say it shouldn't be even about money because these are the 2 people that want to spend their entire life together.
Yeah.
When we come to a price of how much one should weigh, because I will never afford to buy Susan, for instance. She doesn't weigh 30,000. She doesn't weigh 50,000. So I think from the point of me giving 5,000 or 25,000, it just me showing
a way of appreciating.
I'm appreciating this family, and I don't want to do fat and sad. I do want to do things in a correct manner, So I think in terms of the value itself. We so much degrading women into that, of which we kind of like put a price tag to them.
Yeah.
And if we cannot put a price tag to women.
Yeah.
You understand? Hence, I'm saying that part of the reason is that some families put ridiculous money. And you see this guy wants to be
For
with
their
this
own
woman.
sake, like you
Yes,
said,
it's
if this one says 10, it amounts to 100,000, that would
Yes.
mean that parent has banked 100,000
100K, yes.
for his own purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because now the daughter cannot say, but daddy, where is that money? You know, it's more like,
Yeah.
why are you asking
A level
me
of
for that
respect
money?
is being-
You understand?
yeah.
Yeah. So my point is to say, maybe also to the parents, if you come across with this thing, that we want to be with your daughters. You understand? But we don't have 60K.
Whatever amount.
Maybe they are contributing into this thing of fat and said, because I want to be with Susan, but I don't
But I
have
can't afford that.
I don't have 60K.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut a corner, of which, even though I know that it's not a correct way
Okay.
or a correct procedure, but because of I want to be with Susan, and Susan wants to be with me, and she's looking into the biological clock, and she says, let's forget
This
about
is
this.
not gonna
things.
happen.
Yeah, let's forget about things. Let's just go, just find ourselves a place, and we stay together, and we're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now, the reason I asked that question is simply because I wanted to date as far back as possible
Yeah.
on the basis that, yes, we do what our forefathers have done, but are we inheriting what's right? Because at the end of the day, their generation and ours are totally different.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I can date back, if you may, all right?
Yeah.
Biblically speaking, of course.
Yes.
We understand that Adam and Eve were the first.
Yes.
So there was no way that there was going to be some sort of monetary element involved in terms of them coming together. But then when Cain married or got involved with his spouse, we are not told from the Bible whether there was a measure of exchange or not. But
Yes.
if we fast track the years, according to the Jewish people, marriage was associated with families coming together.
Yes.
As we know now.
Yeah.
Say Vusi's family is meeting with Susan. You said Susan?
Susan, yeah.
Okay.
Susan.
Vusi's family is
Yeah.
meeting with Susan's family. So
Yes.
the element here is not Vusi and Susan. Yes, they are the key and the subject.
Correct.
But the fundamentals is the
The
background,
families.
which is the families.
Yeah.
So now, according to the Jews, how they did it was, we want this family and this family to merge.
Yeah.
So what is it that you have that can allow us to come together and merge our families?
Yes.
They used time. If you check the Bible very well, you'll
Yeah.
realize that when the bridegroom proposes to the
Groom's high.
groom.
Yeah.
So they will be given a space of 1 year, and so this husband, or rather the groom,
Yeah.
would have much time for a period of a year, so that he can prepare the outcome of how he's going to live with his bride
Okay.
after as life goes on.
Okay.
So they will be given a space of about a year for him to prepare. So when he is done preparing, then he's able to go to the family
And said,
say, I'm done. Let me
Yeah.
just take my person. I have prepared however I have prepared. So when I said, where does the monetary value come from? I just wanted to understand if there is the bedrock of it
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
But in African tradition, what I know is, and I stand to be corrected, of course, yes. What I know is, in terms of bringing families together, it's more than families together, but it's also about the introduction and the unity of ancestors.
Okay.
So Voice's family and Susan's family,
They're coming together.
the ancestors come together to have a union.
Okay.
So it is in that union that the ancestors are saying, we want specific amount of cattle, if I may say.
Yeah.
So now, if we fast track the years, in our generation, each cattle can be categorized as, 7,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, it depends where you buy it, though.
Do you get what I'm saying?
the Senton cows, they're much expensive than the normal rural cow.
If you say so, I don't know much.
Yeah,
But
no.
I'm showing that if
You
the
must go to
ancestors-
Senton. You must go to Senton. They will tell you they need 10 cows, but the price is different, obviously.
So now the ancestors will say they want specific amount of cows.
Yeah.
Now, if those are that's how they believe. So if the ancestor says they want 10 cows,
Yeah.
so the family must produce 10 cows for the ancestors.
Yeah.
Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So now, in a modern day culture, is there an element whereby one culture would say the ancestors are saying, or us, in terms of who we have inherited from the biblical point of view? Is there a way that the families are saying, you know what, take my child for a year, or rather, go out for a year. After a year or two, come take your wife.
Yeah.
Because now, failure to have these two elements, you see, I'd put African tradition and biblical ways.
Yes.
So if we don't have any of these two,
The balance.
what is it that we're doing now?
Yeah.
Because it's as though there's some business transaction going on.
Yeah.
Vos's father wants 10,000 or
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah.
Or rather, Susan's father wants 100,000 from Vos.
Yeah.
Vos doesn't have 100,000.
Correct.
So where does that lead us to?
Yeah. So
This is cohabitation.
yes. Hence, I was saying that some of the people we are being blocked by these parents who want something that is really, really ridiculous. You know, because if you go to the Bible, there was Jacob.
It's Jacob.
Jacob,
He first got the younger sister.
the younger sister.
And then he went for, okay.
Yeah, but the intentions was to work, right? So there are ways that can equally used at this current stage.
Mr. Dr. Love.
Yes, sir.
Now, I wanted to know, do you think the rate at which we're going in terms of, or how the country is going in terms of cohabitation or Fatin said, is it going to escalate? Do you think it's going to be more based on what you said regarding the parents not giving allowance for children to pay lobola?
Yeah, I think with this rate, because if you look at the numbers, in 2012, 2.4 million were regarded as doing cohabitation, like Fadlan said, in that particular term. You can imagine now in 2020 or 2021, what are the stats look like, you know? It's more like the higher you go, the colder it becomes, even in this area.
You said what's the number in
2.4 million.
2.4 million.
Counted for. Because obviously when you do your stats, today somebody can be moving in with somebody else and that are not being counted for, you know. And there are those ones who obviously didn't account for those numbers. But if you just have to estimate now, we're not looking good. The numbers are not looking good. They just want to...
It's more of
I don't know now after COVID what has happened, because most people might have decided, because you know what, let's try to do this. Maybe the numbers now they've tripled. Yeah.
So that's like 2.4 in
million.
the year. Yeah, that's 2.4 million in
Yeah.
2012, you said.
Yes.
That's too deep.
Yeah.
So now, because of that, you're saying by now the number definitely has gone high.
Definitely, because like everybody else was like on total lockdown. Everybody else just wanted to be with somebody else. You know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. We were all scared. Literally, we're just like, hey, look, man, I've got the kukunyana in my place. Come chill with me, and girl just drag the bag and like she's there.
I get what you're saying.
It might have just happened as like, I'm just gonna sleep over for today. But it realized, you know what, this thing is more like it's working, and then she has not moved out ever since that day.
I get what you're saying. Now, this is how I take it, all right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm advocating that it should be done, but I noticed that whatever is good, people are likely to adhere to.
Yes.
So do you think there's some sort of goodness in Fatin said? Is there some sort of goodness? Because it seems like a lot of people are going for this thing.
Of course, bruh. I mean...
Is there some sort of goodness? How is it advantageous? Why? Why is it that a lot of people are going for this?
It's so obvious. I get people are jumping the queue. When you say jumping the queue, I mean like if you're in the queue to pay lobola, now you have to pay lobola, because there's benefits obviously when you stay with your partner. Not only we're speaking about sex. No, maybe that could be the last thing.
Let me pause you.
Yes.
The goodness is there.
Yes.
So you're going to give me the goodness.
Yes.
So the first one is you skipping the queue.
Yes.
Okay.
And then second one, obviously, there's benefits of you sleeping with this person. She washes for you. She cooks for you.
Yep.
Financially, if maybe she's working and you're working,
So there's some
common
balance.
ground. Because
Okay.
you know what, you no longer have to buy grocery 300 only one. She will pop in 350 because she's here. She stays
Yeah,
with you.
I get what
you
you're
know,
saying, yeah.
And yeah, so other things. Even if maybe you guys have maybe you were paying a bond, you know, it's like, oh, now that I'm here, I think I can help with those ones. So it's a benefit to the other party as well.
Okay.
Also on the other side of maybe the lady was moving in, maybe she's coming from this other family that she had a lot of stress on her side.
Yeah.
But when she's with you now, she feels like she's completely now, you know, she feels like she's a total wife without that ring. You understand? Yeah, she's like, you know me, and I'm going to my boyfriend's place, like, you know, yeah, all of these things, yeah.
So it's how the goodness of it that sustains not the movement, but
Yeah.
the state of life.
Yeah, because now if I used to do everything for myself,
And then-
maybe if I used to iron and cook for myself,
And there's somebody
there's
else
somebody
next to you,
else, you know.
Susan.
Yeah, Susan is there now. She's doing the other things that I used to do by myself. So obviously it's benefit on my side. So in
Okay.
that way, it's like, you know, it's
That's
helping
what
me
really-
in the other way. Yeah.
Promotes the whole thing.
Yeah,
And then-
because not only, you know, one of the things is that we kind of like talk as guys
Yeah.
to say, you know what, these are the benefits of having somebody in your life. You know, she grounds you. You're
Yep.
no longer all over the place because you got somebody that you're staying with. You know, irrespective if you've paid lobola or not, but because of you with somebody else, you are more likely to be grounded at all time at home. Yeah.
No, I would also deduce that the disadvantages are the opposite, but it will be more fair for you to, you know, just to hint on them. What would be the dangers of cohabitation?
Actually,
Or what are they,
I
as
think
a matter of fact?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of them. I think the disadvantages outweigh the advantage, because the advantage is it's something that you both are benefiting, you know. But in the long run, one is that if, for instance, if I'm staying with you, there's no commitment there. Number one is that I can just pack my bags and go or move and just leave you there. You know?
So when you say there's no commitment, you mean there's no contractual ground?
there's no
Let's say
any-
there's no
yeah.
formal agreement into this.
That is correct. You
Okay.
can't say that you've been spending money with me without any proof. But if we're building together as a husband and a wife, you know that there's this commitment that these two people are into.
Yeah.
You know, so there is just like you living your life and she's living her life, but you're living together.
Together,
you
yeah.
know. So that's number one. Number two is that most of the guys they won't feel a need anymore to go to your parents' house because you're already here. You're already a wife already. You are already doing everything that you're supposed to do as a wife.
As a wife, yeah.
Yeah. So what will be the need of me going to your parents? You know. Steve Harvey put it in this way to say, why would you go look for a cow when you already had a milk? You understand? I don't know if maybe that you understand.
No, I get what you're saying. There's-
There's already getting the
milk already, the benefits of.
benefits of that. So you're having everything that you need here. You
Yeah.
know, so that's the disadvantage of it as well. You know, and another thing that really I'm thinking of as disadvantage is that you're robbing yourself the title of being called a wife
Or a husband.
or a husband. You
Okay.
know, because now you can't be called a husband if you just decided you just want to move in. You
So
know.
what if somebody said, I don't want that title. I don't want to be a husband or wife. I can just continue with this.
But under what? Under that you just want to cohabit and just make that title. Look, people do have choices. Like I said, it's like people need to sit down and think, would say, okay, fine. Am I okay with what I'm doing, the decision that I'm making?
Yeah.
You know, are you okay to live with that decision for the rest of your life? That three years down the line, somebody says, "Come, I don't even know your parents." Let's, for argument's sake, one person passes away
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
arrangement,
Thank you, yeah.
and now there is no family. You can't even go to the family and say anything else because they don't know you.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't have the rights.
You don't have the rights. I mean, how do you go Wamasego would say I'm Susan, I'm entitled to 1, 2, 3. I think people rob themselves of the bigger benefits. They just look into the current benefit because you know what, I'm entering into this and then
the monthly benefit.
Yes, but there's a bigger picture into that. For instance, let's use that as an example. For instance, let's say maybe I've got a house, I've got cars, I've got everything else. We enter in this cohabitation of fat and sad. At the back of your mind, you know, should Vusi passes away, I'm not entitled to anything because you're not anybody in papers. You're not any in terms of
means.
Yes, but if you are my wife, should that happen? Would see. I do pass away. I mean, you will be entitled to some of this. I know that that is between the two people that they really do, but I'm just saying that you can't want to claim those things as a girlfriend.
So you have deprived yourself from all
bigger things because of the shorter version of, or the shorter mind version. Of the bigger things, you know, because I think you need to sit down and calculate your moves to say, okay, fine, if I'm doing this, what are the advantages? What am I gaining? What am I losing? If you find that what you're gaining is more than what you're losing, that's fine. Go ahead and do it, you know, because we don't want to sound like we are being politically correct now. We just want to say he doesn't have money, therefore Ugel wants to come, but you can't. And then the parents are the one that are blocking you, you know. So that's why I say let's rather see the bigger picture. You know, it's the different thing to say, okay, well, you know what, she's staying in, I'm not really promoting that. She has a townhouse, I have a townhouse.
Sure.
Maybe now we're not financially stable. Then she says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sacrifice my townhouse. I'm going to come stay with you because you stay by yourself anyway. But this is our plan. We're just going to stay for a year. Maybe, I'm not saying that it should be that way. Maybe I will get to know who you are. Because if you come as somebody for a sleepover, you do not know my moods. How angry I get, how frustrated I get when everything goes wrong. But once you come and stay with me, you will see my moves. You will see what this guy does. Obviously, that's part of the advantage. You could see, you know what, some of the people enter into marriage without knowing their partner. But obviously, we use faith, you know, to say, you know what, I hope these things will go according to the plan. But in most of cases, we get banned because I marry Amen thinking that Amen is such a good guy.
Only from the surface.
From the surface. But the moment I stay with him, the moment I spend time with him, I understand with no man, actually this is not it. You understand? So most of people want to say, you know what, let me stay with this person for a year just to see what he does, how he does things. You know, will I be able to stay with this person for the rest of my life, or I can't.
No, I get what you're saying. Now tell me then, it's just a quickie.
Yes.
Are you a victim, or were you a victim of cohabitation?
I once really been in that situation. I remember this girl. I think I've made a mistake there. I need to acknowledge that. I started working. You know, when you're crazy in love and you start working, and like, you know what, I was working at the airport. She was a second year student. What happened was then she was like, oh my goodness, I want to be an air hostess, you know, so you're working at the airport, so let me be closer to that side. It sounded like a good idea then to say, you know what, come, let's do this. But we were not ready together. We were good when she comes on weekend and go home, we'll miss one another. But once she said, let me be here full time, because now you understand that her life now, it's around you. What you do when you go to work, she's alone. You understand that when you are there, she's like want to catch up, but you're tired. All of those things.
I get what you're saying.
And then it so happened we could see she wanted to therefore to go out and just be another person, because she was getting tired of just staying in this particular place with this person who goes to work and leave. You know, but if she had her life then and didn't jump the stage, and we will just meet together, because she will be working, I'll be working.
Then you would blend together.
Yes, you know. But now I did that, and I regretted, because now she was frustrated in that process, you know, because it sounded good. It sounded like a good idea when like do it. And we know we cool, and the parents, they didn't even. I don't know the background though. They didn't really. They knew that she was with Vusi. you know. But obviously, I didn't go to the parents and like, hey, look, this person is
you
with
never
me.
introduced yourself,
Yes,
probably, yeah.
you know, of which I felt bad to say, how do I stay with somebody who is not my wife, and the parents, they don't even know me.
Yeah.
What if anything happens to her? You understand that? So how will I account? Because I could be charged for murder, which you took our daughter without the knowledge of it, and then uhlala naye lana. Not necessarily me killing her, but if anything could happen, maybe she got a heart attack or anything.
Yeah,
else
then
in
you
that,
are
know?
to be blamed for
yes,
that.
because I'm the one who took her from.
She was somehow your custodian.
Yes, under me.
She was under your.
Yes, yeah, you know, yeah. So we had our fights because now, she has a way of doing her things. I've got my way of doing things, and we need to both meet common grounds, you know, and in a way, because we're blinded by love, we thought, no, man, we'll get through it, you know. I will be okay with her not doing the dishes and whatnot, because remember that as a person, when you move in with somebody together, there's no gender roles there, because you need to wash dishes, I need to wash. She can't be washing dishes every day, you know. We need to exchange things, you know. Now, if I'm coming home and I'm tired and she didn't cook, I feel like, why you didn't cook?
Wait,
you understand?
in that case, let me get it right.
Yeah.
Who was under whose custody? Was she under you, or you were under her custody in terms of how you maneuvered?
She was under me.
Or so you were the custodian?
Yes.
She was under your custody?
Yes.
Why not the other way?
I don't know.
Because I thought maybe, okay, but I get what you're saying. I just wanted to be clear. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the benefits obviously is to get everything like for free. I would say that, like, it's for free because you have a wife, you have sex, you do all of these things. That
all of those stuff, but
the benefits of everything without you even paying for a cent for it, you know, of which.
Yeah, you know what? I like the fact that you are a man of God, a man of God. OF, not OFF, God.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So since you are a man of God, do you think there is a very possible way from the biblical point of view on how to avoid
the finance side?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is
a principle way.
I think there
that
is.
Everybody can.
I think there is. One of the things to say that if you and I, or me and Susan, love one another and we want to spend time together, and the different or the stumble block or the obstacle, it could be the finances. I think let's be respectful about it. Let's go to parents. Like, look, Vusi loves me. He doesn't have 50,000, you know, and he wants to do the things the right way.
Yep.
You know, can't you at least do 1, 2, 3? Like, don't even charge him ridiculous money. You know, we'll go to church. The church will bless us to avoid all of these things that really, really are happening today. Because if you check even in the culture that we're living in the modern days, you know, it's so much pressure in both society and church. You're running from the society thinking that the church, you will be safe, for instance.
But it's the same.
It's the same. You know, I think there must be some common ground that people at church, they can go as well and speak on your behalf to say, you know what, this is our son. You know, he's not working now. However, this is how much he has. Because we want to avoid the sin life. You know, because as much as we want to say, you can come and stay with me here, and we won't indulge in sexual activities, we are lying to ourselves. You know, we just need to be honest and frank about this thing. To say, a church must also come to part to say, you know what, for them not to sin. Not that they really, really want to stop us from sinning, because you can still sin and think like nobody knows, because it's between
what
you
you're saying
and God.
How to follow the proper way of
the proper
avoiding.
way, all of the things. So I think the best way is just have church playing the role of being if maybe there's a stumbling block, for instance, if the parents say they want 50,000, and then the church should stood up and say, look, parents, as much as this is your child and this is our son as well, we want to protect them falling in sin.
or maintain the image of who they are
yeah.
or their character.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to raise people at when they get to the last finishing line and they drop
Yeah.
the ball. You
Yeah.
just want to make sure that you help them how you can. You
That's right.
guide them, provide counseling for them. Teach them the good ways.
Yeah.
Find out what is wrong with me not marrying this woman. Why I want to keep it at this woman for the rest of my life.
Sure,
you find out
sure.
there's a simple thing was I do not have somebody to officiate my wedding, or I don't have somebody else to just counsel us. Because if we don't play that role, they'll think it's right to just come together as a boyfriend and girlfriend and give themselves the title of being a wife and a husband.
So what you're saying is the church must be a middleman